Yo.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ballin with the Ladies. All things WNBA news, all that good stuff that's going around the NBA, the WNBA. Before we get to it, if you guys are new, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification, all that shebang. And let's get right into it. So obviously it's been, a crazy hectic week, couple of weeks, I would say. You know,
honestly, I think it's been a crazy hectic season in general.
That is good point.
We have teams that shocked the world. Who are climbing in the standings right now. Some teams that are shockingly bad this year.
I wouldn't say shockingly, but I feel like there was a couple teams that we know that were going to be bad.
Yeah, we all knew the storm. The storm was going to be bad. We knew the Fever was going to be better, but not. We knew the Mercury was going to. We knew the storm was going to be bad. We knew the Fever was going to be bad. Didn't even know the Mercury was going to be this bad. They've been atrocious. Let me read you a few records that I have in my notes here, and this is just from the last 10 games.
Oh, Jesus!
The Mercury are 1-9 in the last 10. They are 12.5 personnel.
God.
You have the Fever. They're 3-7 in the last 10 games. The Wings have gotten in a little bit of a slide here in the last 10. The Wings have gotten in a little bit of a slide. They are 4-6 in the last 10, but they are 9-9, so they can find their way out. They'll probably find their way out.
Oh yeah, and that's why they're also
the Storm though. Yeah, we all knew they were going to lost cause, but they are 2-8 in their last 10, 12 out of first.
I want to see a lost cause, but I do think at some point they're going to have to go through a full-blown rebuild at some point and try to build.
They're a lost cause because they're trying to go with this roster that only has one star on it.
Yeah, when you actually had 3 last year.
You trade like one retired.
And actually,
two retired. One's pregnant. I
forgot about that. 2
retired. One's pregnant. And then you have a bunch of role players that aren't doing anything.
And shit, I mean, I got to give Joy Lloyd a ton of credit for what she's doing. It's like a team like Seattle doesn't deserve let's be real. I think she's still a phenomenal talent, but I think any team could use a talent like Joy Lloyd. The fact that she get, I can't really blame her for getting stuck with Seattle, but this is I mean, at some point, whenever her contracts.
That's what the contract entails, man. Nobody thought that this team would be bad. We thought with Keeper retiring, we didn't think the other stars were gonna.
Don't worry, we'll get to your Sparks because.
I forgot to write that down. But the Sparks, I gotta read. You know what? Thank you for mentioning it. I gotta pull it up on my phone here.
I pulled up
the standings here. You caused this, Key. You caused this.
Tyler, I already got you covered. So overall, the Sparks.
Hold on. No. I'm gonna do this. Man.
But
we've got the Sparks, who are 3-7 in their last 10.
Oof.
9 games out of first.
Just for the number 1 spot in the conference or in the league, actually.
Well, here's the thing. Aren't the Aces in the same conference?
There's
no way in hell they're catching the Aces. Nobody's catching the Aces.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, you're right. They're 9 games out of first. Right now, you got the Aces.
I feel like the Aces are just too far ahead of the other teams.
So this is how the Western Conference is standing out as it stands. You got the Aces at 60-2. Yes, the loss came to the Dallas Wings. I'm not mad about that. We're gonna.
Yeah, the Wings. Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit this last 10 games, but they're not a bad team. So I don't mind the loss. And plus, it was a 2-point loss.
Yeah. See, I'd rather. See, for me, and Tyler knows this better than anybody. When we first did first Aces game, because let's be real, most of the season, or not say most of the season, but there were some parts in the season where some of the games were or heart attacks waiting to fucking happen.
That one game put me through the goddamn ringer. It was it was like a 12-point game in the first half. It was down to 6 by the second half.
Yeah,
I'm like, what in the hell happened? You guys were dominating the first half, and then you guys are just.
But yeah, so later tonight, the Aces will be on the road in Minnesota to take on the Lynx, who earlier in the season, had a come from behind victory because let's be real. I've said this at times, and to be quite honest, I'm really impressed with the turnaround for the Minnesota Lynx. The last 10 games, they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, the Lynx have been on the rise the last 10. They've been really, really good. They've been playing good ball, great ball movement. They can put the ball in the basket. They do it all, man. They've been really dominant the last 10.
Been surprising for a team, especially for a team that, if you looked at them last year, they were the second worst team behind the Indiana Fever. And I've said this once before, and me, Key, and Dante and Tyler knows this. Like, you have teams like Minnesota, not really have big names outside of Fisa Collier, but on paper, like, when you look at the teams, like, they're not bad when they, in terms of records, but if you look at the team on paper, like, you think this team will be at least somewhat decent, like make a push in the Western Conference. Obviously still owned by the Aces currently, but think about it. I mean, you already have the Lynx at 9-9. They're a half game out of first. Oh, I'm sorry. That's 50%. I am a fucking idiot. 7 games out. I read that wrong. My apologies.
It's like you started reading the team and the record, and then you went to another team when it goes how many games are there.
I got the winning percentage and games back fucking flipped. So I had a dyslexic moment. So shut up. But conference.
I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to rip you the entire time. I ain't shutting up.
But think of this too. Conference wise, they got the second. Quite honest, in terms of the Western Conference, they got the second best record in the Western Conference at 7-4. Obviously, the Aces are 8-1 in conference play. Overall, yes, the home record is a little bit not to say underwhelming. They're 4-5 at home, but they've been very okay on the road. They're 5-4 on the road, but they've won their last 5 straight games.
Yeah, I feel like they're a better road team than they are at home. Some teams are like that. They're worse at home than they are on the road. That's what happens, man. But they've been playing very, very good ball in the last 5-game winning streak here. Yeah. I'm thrilled.
I'm actually kind of happy for them because let's be real, because even though they may not have like I said, outside of the Fisa Collier, like they don't really have like big name talent, like say like Neko Gumake or Anisha Wilson, Brianna Stewart. I don't know how I almost forgot her name, so my apologies for that.
How would you forget Stewie, bro?
I'm sorry, my brain's kind of. But
that woman played with a goddamn shiner earlier this season. You can't respect her, bro? Come on, bro.
But I will say this too, and I will admit this too. I was kind of very disappointed yes, the Aces beating the Liberty. In a way, I was kind of disappointed. I expected more between these two, especially from the Liberty. I was like, what the hell? Like, I expected like at least a close competitive game, but yet we get another. The Aces blew them out. I was like, I don't know. But then again, actually, and Coach Ed actually pointed something out too. Like, they're still kind of they're still kind of trying to get it together because obviously they don't have Stephanie Talbot, who's out with a high ankle sprain. And for those who have been around our channel for a while, I've kind of talked about ankle sprains are no goddamn joke. And so they missed some size there. They're missing Hanju off the bench, even though let's be real, that's kind of really been killing them. It's like, and at times we've seen, Brianna Stewart, who actually had a pretty solid game against us, but yet the supporting cast never showed up to figuratively showed up to play. And that's kind of concerning for a team that what we expected to be another super team of the WNBA, and that is the New York Liberty. It's I don't know, man. It's kind of like mind boggling. Look, no disrespect to Stewie. Like, I mean, let's be real. can't tell me that she's got some steep competition in terms of if you want to think of the MVP race, not just Asia Wilson, Kelsey.
Yeah, Stewie's got she's running away with the thing.
I would have.
She's running away.
I'm sorry, Tyler. I think it's going to be a close margin because I think you got Asia Wilson who can make a great argument for the MVP.
Yeah, I get it. Asia Wilson is good. I get it.
Jackie Young, sure. Alyssa Thomas with Connecticut Sun.
You can have those players. But this woman is just killing it, man.
I mean, she's almost averaging a triple-double in the WNBA.
He's literally almost averaging a triple damn double. And you're telling me she's not running away with it?
Now, going back to the Minnesota Lynx, they actually did a really nice win against the Phoenix Mercury. And, well, if you're a Mercury fan, I completely feel bad for y'all.
They're what I expected with Brittany Griner's return to be on top of their game.
Oh,
Last year, I could get why they would get bounced in the playoffs, and they weren't, on top because they didn't have Brittany Griner. With Brittany Griner, I was expecting better.
You would think,
but then you lost other pieces.
Like you got Shea Petty coming in the Achilles. I don't know how well she's been playing as of recently because I haven't really been watching. But you also don't have Skylar Diggins-Smith, who's out on maternity leave. So congrats to her. We didn't really mention the last time. But you also got Diana Taurasi. It's like how much longer does she have left in the tank? That's my thing. That's my biggest concern.
That's my biggest gripe too, because she's been at this for years, man. She's been at this.
I think of this too, and because her and Brittany missed the game against the Aces. Obviously, Brittany with the hip injury, and Diana Taurasi with the hamstring injury. And yes, I know Brittany Griner's been on the younger side of things. I think probably mid to late 20s if I'm going to have to guess. But you'll have Diana.
Let me look it up. Let me look this up.
Because and then with Diana Taurasi, no, granted, her and Super are probably the nice, really gold standard of longevity. But at some point, and I think Super knew this. I got to commend Super.
No, she's not in her 20s.
Let me guess, early 30s?
She's 32.
32? That's a load.
She's on the wrong side of 30, bro.
Yeah, oh, well.
So she's getting up there in age, man. She's getting up there in age. She's on the wrong side of 30.
Taurasi, I think she's already pushing 40. So, and this kind of the point that was, I think I made, episode 1 or 2. When you have players like Candace Parker, who's been around for 16 seasons, you have Diana Taurasi, now retired Sue Bird. Sylvia Fowles has been around for a while. Now she's retired. It's like it makes you wonder, how much time do you have left, especially on the tires, so to speak. I think Super knew her time was coming to a close. She's been over almost 2 decades in the WNBA. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you also had Taurasi, who, if she does retire at some point, will retire as the all-time leading scorer, I think, with over 9,440 something odd points. It's it kind of makes you wonder, especially if you're the Mercury, what do you do when that time comes when Taurasi retires? What do you do? I mean, look.
Yeah. At this point, they're you're kind of screwed here because you have Taurasi, who's nearly at the end of her career. She's near the end. It's in sight.
You can see it in some games, her games,
because she's kind of taking a step back a little bit. So it's in sight that the end is near for her.
Oh, absolutely.
The problem is you have Brittany Griner, who is now on the wrong side of 30.
30, yeah, and
she already had an injury this year, and usually
that hip injury.
Usually when you have injuries, man, in your 30s, and you're an athlete, they're gonna pile up.
I mean, we've seen it time and time.
We've seen it, and not only in basketball, we've seen it in other sports too. If you're in the wrong side of 30 and you start having injuries,
you become injury prone.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Pile up. And hold on, that's the problem, man. That is the problem. Is the fact that you have Tarazi, who's near the end of her career. You have Brittany Griner, who just came off an injury. Who came off an injury this year. She's 32. She's on the wrong side of 30. What do you do? What do you do if she gets hurt and you don't have Tarazi anymore?
Or Brittany Griner?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. What would happen if you lose Brittany Griner because of injury and she's on the wrong side of 30 and Tarazi's already been retired and you have nobody but role players?
I mean, think about it. When I'm looking at the rest of the roster, I mean, you got Brianna, who's been okay, but not really. So I like Sophie's game though. I think she's a nice little.
Are you talking about the Liberty?
No, the Mercury.
I heard Brianna Stewart.
There's Brianna Turner from the Mercury.
Okay, I thought you said Stewart.
Nah, we'll get to the Liberty. We'll get to Liberty in just a bit. You
only have Brianna Turner. All right.
I mean, this is pretty much what the roster is looking like. Got Michaela Onyewer, who's actually a very nice scorer. I mean, I'll give her that. So that's a nice piece you got there. Brianna Turner, really, she won't do much in terms of scoring, but if you need like rebounds and stuff, like that's kind of where her specialty lies.
That's an issue. That is an issue, man, because the only reason why the only way they'd be a complete team if you had a bunch of good scorers. Yeah, you had a defender who can get rebounds, but you need some scorers. Outside of Tarazi, Brianna,
Brittany Griner,
and then that Brianna Turner.
Look at.
They're like the only three scorers that I heard.
Well,
you had the rebound.
Well, this is you're going to be surprised of her stat line for Brianna Turner. 0 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 7 boards.
So she's basically a female Rodman.
Something like that, yeah. In a way.
A female Rodman who could range from 0 to like 5 points, but can get a lot of rebounds, a lot of boards, a lot of steals, a lot of blocks and stuff.
Exactly.
A great defender. That's old school ball. Like 90s. Like you don't necessarily need to score.
And
you can just defend well, and you can just defend well, and you're still going to be a solid player in that regard. But what did the Bulls have when they had Rodman? They had a lot of scores to combat him not scoring. What did the Mercury have? Tarazi, Brianna, forgetting her last name again. No, the other Brianna Turner, and then you have Brittany Griner.
And the other scorers you got Michaela Onyewer, who pretty much can give you 15 to 20 plus a night.
See, that's fine. You have her.
And Sophie Cunningham, granted, not the best game I've seen her play, in my honest opinion. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3. Well, and
what I want to know, if they have a lot of scores and they have somebody who can defend well, what the hell are their turnover numbers? Because they might be committing a lot of turnovers.
I'll tell you. I'm pulling up the game charts now.
Because I don't watch a lot of Mercury games because of how bad they are. So
it's kind of hard to really.
Yeah. So for me, if they score a lot, but they're turning the ball over, it's bad. Isn't it?
Yeah, 19 team turnover.
I knew it. It had to have been an issue, man.
So this is basically what the numbers for
they can score a lot. They have a roster that can have winnable games.
Well, and
winnable games. Despite not having Brittany Griner or Tarazi, they can win. Problem is,
you can win games.
They turn the ball over.
It's careless.
And they're careless with the basketball.
And look, if you go by quarter, like quarter one, the Mercury put up 10 points in quarter one. Quarter two, 12 points. Quarter three, they put up a good amount in quarter three, outscored the Lynx 23-18. And they also outscored the Mercury outscored the Lynx 19-18 in the fourth quarter. Yet, got outscored with the points in the paint, 34-30. I literally got outscored in fast break points, 11-7 in favor of the Lynx. The biggest lead was 20. Boy, talk about it. The Lynx pretty much owned that category with a big lead, had a 24-point lead on the Phoenix Mercury. Now the bench, that's kind of in favor of the Lynx. The rebounds, now granted, yes, that's kind of where that's a little bit in favor of the Mercury, 8-4. And 19 total turnovers to the Minnesota Lynx's 15. The Mercury managed to put up 19 points off of turnovers to the Minnesota Lynx 10. That's it. But
see, that's an issue. That is an issue to me. Like, if they can score and they can outscore their opponent in the stat line, but yet they're giving up more points in fast breaks and turning the ball over a whopping 19 times. Come on.
That's concerning.
The only reason why they're losing. The only reason why they're losing. They can clean this up. They can for sure clean this up. Take care of the basketball.
Because, I mean, look, you still got a lot of – because this is a 40-game season. You
still got a lot of time to turn this ship around. Take care of the basketball.
And speaking of that on the Mercury, I want to take a look, go over their stretch of games because usually – and shout out to Coach Ed who actually had on between the Lynx or the Aces and the Liberty. It depends – if you have in terms of the Liberty, they had a quick, easy stretch of games, but he said not really take it easy. You have teams that you may be surprised can upset them at the Liberty. But
there's been a few games. I was watching a game. I think it was on ESPN. I think it was between the Sparks and the Liberty one time this season, and I'm thinking, it's going to be a very, very one-sided affair. Sparks aren't really that great this year. The Liberty are leaps and bounds better because they got stars all across the board.
Especially look at the team they had last year. Like it's you still got the same type of players, but yet you already have the additions of Courtney Vandersloot, who is they
basically turned to a super team. So I'm thinking, all right. Liberty's got this in the bag. I expect maybe a 20-point, blowout. No, that game was close to the end. End.
Speaking of that, when the Liberty played the Mercury, they got beat 89-71. Because I know the last time.
Yeah, that was like the second game of the season, I think.
Regardless. I have no idea, but going forward, so to look at the rest of the stretch of games, so tonight they are hosting the Sparks. Like you said, they're not terrible, but it's just the issue, and Key actually pointed this out too. The issue with the Sparks they have, I mean, it's not the roster; they can't close out games. That's the biggest issue with the Sparks. They can't close out games, no matter.
Yeah, they're not by any stretch of the imagination. In their games, they're not a bad team.
Look, they're very competitive in games.
It's just they shoot themselves in their own foot in the last minute and a half of the game.
Yeah, because they just somehow they play so well, but like you said, into the last minute and a half, they somehow completely fold. That's
they just fall. It makes like you worse. It's like they built a structure. But the structure just crumbles.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point I wanted to make. It's like, and this is another thing too, where I pointed out with the Sparks too. Like when I think either Chine or NECA was out, like you could tell, like that team. Even though NECA is, I think he's a little bit better than Chine, but I think the Agumeke sisters, when they're on the floor together, that really makes the machine go. But we have seen at times where, without Chine or NECA, or when they're not both on the floor, you could see a lot of times it doesn't really work out so well. And not to mention, too, you're dealing with some injuries at the same point. Plus, you don't have Katie Lou Samuelson, who's out on maternity leave. So that's another bench piece you're missing. So I'm saying at least it's what did they finish last? I know they probably finished not as terrible, but
let me look this up. What team are we looking for?
The Sparks.
Okay. Yeah, we're just talking about this team. How do I not know what team? Sparks 2022. No, I don't want. Oh my god.
I got it.
No, I got it. They were sixth in the WNBA with a 13-23 record. Did not qualify for the playoffs.
That's not saying
something. They had Derek Fisher as a coach until
June 7th. Anybody that's an NBA fan remembers Derek Fisher as a head coach. Good. Whoa, sorry, Knicks fans. I know you probably know that the hard way. Ooh, good lord. Well, we're not talking about the NBA, but going over, like I said, with the Mercury, who, as you could describe it as
update. I didn't even know that the ESPYs were even on right now.
What the hell?
Asia Wilson just won an ESPY.
Hey, good shit.
I didn't even know they were on this early, but they were on.
Neither did I. What up, brother guy? Speaking of Asia Wilson, but there was this is congrats.
Oh no, never mind. I read that wrong. I don't know why. They said ESPY and she won something. No, you know what it was?
What would that be?
They just signed her to a 2-year extension. The Aces did.
That's another point I actually wanted to go over. Like she earned that she got a 2-year extension.
Wait, that was June 30th.
No, that was July.
What the hell are you doing? Why'd you send me a notification about something and it be something from a month ago?
But yeah, so June 2nd or July 2nd, my apologies. But forward Asia Wilson, forward/center Asia Wilson did get a 2-year extension. Let's be real, for being a two-time MVP, a WNBA champion, and a defensive player of the year. I mean, I am basically what the plan is for the Aces is trying to keep that core together, because now you got Kelsey Plum now played off to her contract because she's at the end of her extension. I won't be surprised if they would give her like a multi-year extension. It's going to be interesting to see what the Aces will do. And this is basically what Wilson's resume is in her 6 short years in the WNBA. Like I said, a two-time champion in 2022 and 2020, defensive player of the year.
I don't get why ESPN would send me a notification for a thing that happened on June 30th.
I have no idea. But going further down the resume, she's a 2-time All-WNBA first team, a 2020 Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time World Cup gold medalist, a 2022 FIBA World Cup MVP, a 5-time All-Star, a 3-time All-Star captain, 2-time WNBA All-Star leading vote getter. I mean, that's kind of not surprising. A 2021 WNBA second team, 2020 All-Defensive second team, 2018 Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie team in 2018 as well. And also currently she is chasing Sylvia Fowles' double-double record, which I think it stands at 66. And currently she already racked over 3,000 career points so this season averaging 19.4 points per game, 9 rebounds a game, and 2 block shots per game, while connecting on a career high 53.6% of her shots from the field. And obviously at the time when this was released, the Aces were 14-1. Now currently are 16-2, still leading the Western Conference over the likes of the Sparks, the Lynx, and the Dallas Wings, who and all that good stuff.
On the come up, man. They are on the come up. The Wings are on the come up.
You got some teams on the come up that has been actually kind of turned it around, especially in teams like we said with Minnesota. For a team that
Oh yeah. Oh wait, Minnesota's gonna come up. Never mind. Minnesota's gonna come up.
I think you should make the same thing with the Wings. I mean, the Wings weren't bad last year, but they were just
the Wings were 4-6 in their last 10 though.
Yes, I'm talking like record wise, yeah, but the last 10, yeah, not so much. But then again, I don't think Wings fans are going to worry about that because like you're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah, teams are going to slide midway through.
I mean, shit.
Teams are going to, have bad stretches like that. Doesn't mean they're going to be bad. I'm not saying they're not going to be they're not going to be great. They've just fallen a little bit.
No, but they're going to find a way to get everything going.
They got time to get together.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time. But going back to the Mercury, which we kind of did, where we talked about a few points. But the next stretch of games, they got the Sparks tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday, well, let's just say that's going to be an ass whooping. They got the Aces on Tuesday, the 11th, and then they go the same on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. They got to play the Connecticut Sun. Oh, God bless you on that one. And Thursday, July 20th, Chicago hosting the Chicago Sky. Now, there's going to be talking about the Sky. It's going to be interesting with that. Now, James Wade is no longer in the picture. For those who don't know, James Wade actually took up a job with the Toronto Raptors, so he's making the transition from the WNBA to the NBA as an assistant. So
he saw, honestly, for that team. I think he saw the writing on the damn wall.
Oh,
because they have the Sky has fallen a little bit too. No pun intended.
I knew you were going to make that damn pun, but yeah, they're 8.
I said no pun intended. There's no pun, but I'm kidding. But
they're 2 games under 500.
But they've fallen off a little bit. So I feel like he's like, this team's not that nowhere near great like I thought I would be coaching them to be. I'm not like the best coach. I'm not coaching them where I'm capable of coaching them, so I'm just gonna leave. And he saw the writing on the wall.
We'll see what the direction with Chicago Sky. So Sunday, July 23rd, they got to take on Elena Delle Donne and the Washington Mystics in Washington, D.C.
They've been red hot lately.
Oh boy! So you got
they're like what, 7-3 in their last 10.
I think so. But in terms of the tough teams, yeah, you got 3 that the Mercury have to face. That's our aces. The Connecticut Sun, who's been a little bit red hot as of recently. And now you got the Washington Mystics. Now, for those who saw this show, the last few episodes, we kind of talked about, we have one gripe with the Washington Mystics. Stay healthy. That's the biggest I would say nitpick, but
exactly. You have a complete team. When you're healthy, you have a complete team.
Absolutely. Elena Delle Donne,
and it's fronted by an absolute legend, Elena Delle Donne.
And still,
absolute legend, and you got to stay healthy. You got to.
Now, I can see the Mercury picking up. It's going to be a tough. I can see them pick up a tough win against the Dream. On July 25th, they got to play the Sky again on the 30th. So, in terms of the July games, that's pretty much you got it. So they got 2 games against the Sky. One against the Dream on the 25th. You got to play the Washington Mystics, the Connecticut Sun, the Aces, and the Sparks for just this month alone. That's their next stretch of games throughout this month for the Phoenix Mercury. Oh boy, that's I feel like the one win is going to come against the Sky because you ain't, God, I'm concerned.
I think you have a really easy win against the Sky. I really think you do.
But then again, even though the Sky are 8-10,
time in that stretch, I don't know.
That
you got a pretty tough stretch of games coming up. So I don't know about that.
I mean, I want to say I could see the Mercury pick up a close win against the Sparks because if the Sparks, and that's the thing too,
here's the thing. I feel like the Sparks have a good win too because all they got to do is close out games.
Yeah,
if they close it out against the Mercury screwed.
Well, first of all, no. The thing is too, if the Sparks can close out the Mercury, that is concerning. like you should know how to close out against let's be real. Sorry, Mercury fans, but I'm going to call them hot trash. I'm sorry. I call it as I see it.
Yes, they are a hot, steaming pile of trash. That's what the Mercury are.
I was going to call it a
rock Mercury are. A hot, steaming pile of trash. Well, and that's even with Tarazi and one of the best players that the game has seen, Brittany Griner.
That's
concerning to me. If you can't win with those two, come on.
Yeah, that is.
And
like you said about
19 turnovers. Come on.
Yeah, especially against a team like the Lynx, who are known to take advantage of turnovers. Then again, what team doesn't? But that's kind of where I've noticed when I watch some games from the Lynx. Now, granted, I mean, even though at times she had look, Kayla McBride, I think she's still a nice solid number 2 to Nafisa Collier, and they've got a really nice, a roster. Like, they might not, like I said, not have big names, but they can get you wins. It's you fuck up like that, and trust me, when I did one game against the Lynx, the Aces and Lynx, the Aces we're struggling out the gate to catch up to the Lynx.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Aces, though, let's go look at the next stretch of games going in throughout this month. Whenever you want to load, that would be fucking in.
It's got to be tough. It's just, so the first I think few months has been a cakewalk.
Yeah, you know what? Not that you mentioned it. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a cupcake schedule for the Aces this year.
It's been a cupcake. It's been an absolute cupcake type of schedule.
But
hell, there's been a few times where I questioned, is it my birthday? Because I'm getting cupcakes.
Yeah.
Is it my birthday? But seriously though, it's a cupcake schedule, man. I don't know. I feel like they'll win.
In terms of the remaining,
I think they're only gonna. I feel like they're only gonna lose like 2 games this year.
Yeah. So in terms of the schedule for the rest of July, so you got tonight the Aces will take on the Minnesota Lynx.
All right, maybe 3 losses. Maybe 3 losses because the Lynx are actually pretty good.
Well, we'll see. That's when you.
But if we beat them, we're only gonna lose.
So, then we got the Mercury on Tuesday, which I will be doing that game.
That's gonna be a blowout. And
then we got the Sparks on Wednesday and Los Angeles.
That'll be close, but that last minute is gonna be crucial. Can the Sparks close out against the Aces?
Thursday, July 20th. We're going straight up to Seattle. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Which we did before. Oh, Jesus. Now I kind of regret doing that opening week. So, man, 105-64 on opening night.
We sat there. Dude, I think I did that game with you. I'm like, really? This is how the game is gonna go? I'm already bored by the third quarter.
It's like it's bad at the third quarter. You already see the reserves already coming in and still kicking your ass. Like that is terrible. That is sad if you think about it.
It just shows how deep the team is too, because the reserves are actually good.
Yeah, and the fact that we didn't really lose much, plus we didn't really lose much of the offseason as well. Yes, replacing Teresa Plazos was Alicia Clark. It was, I actually didn't mind that. Because Teresa Plazos, she was good, but can be at times.
I was mad that I was actually upset that we got rid of her until she did the bullshit with the coach. Tried to get her fired.
That was
the bully. Oh, she bullied me.
Because we traded her. I don't know exactly what the package was, but we did trade her over to the Sparks. And before all that crap went down, so
and then you had the coach getting fined and suspended for like a game or 2 games.
2 games, and yet that still didn't affect the Aces whatsoever in the first 2 games.
They still kept winning.
But like I said, Thursday, July 20th, we're traveling up to Seattle. Saturday, the 22nd, we're playing the Minnesota Lynx again. That time in.
That might be 4. That might be. Honestly, I think we lose 4.
Lose. I'll say.
I think
but
it would be 4.
We'll see. We'll see.
I didn't think that I didn't look at the schedule, so obviously I didn't know we were playing the Lynx twice like that.
Well, we played most teams 4 times this year because it's a 40-game schedule.
Right. That makes sense now.
I
gotta start looking at schedules, man.
After that,
I feel like we lose 4. 2 of them are going to be with the Lynx.
Actually, I think so. I could probably see this team say 36-4 throughout the 40 games, maybe 32-8, maybe.
That's
for me. That's the floor for me.
That's the floor right there. 32-8. The highest ceiling will be 36-4.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see them.
But if they go 35-5, I'm perfectly okay with that. That's like right in the that's like your middle ground. So you are technically you got the floor at 32-8, the ceiling at 36-4, but you also got the middle ground at 35-5. So we'll see going how the season turns out. Now, Tuesday the 25th, we are going to the Wintrust Arena in Chicago to take out the Chicago Sky. Well,
wow.
I can see that being a blowout. Sunday, July 30th, we are hosting the Dallas Wings. I do think that's going to be a close one.
That's close.
I do have a feeling we're going to split the season.
I think we'll eke out that one. We'll just eke that one out.
The last meeting we did on this past Friday night, we lost only by 2 points, 80-78.
Yeah.
So, and overall, I've always think, in terms of the Spark, if it took the season series between the Sparks, let's be real, I think we're going to be owning that series. So sorry, Key. I know you're probably frustrated because the Sparks kind of give her a heart attack.
It's just realistic. It's just realistic, Key.
That's like 12 straight victories that
I do see it being competitive. I do see it being competitive.
Oh yeah,
it's not a bad team by any stretch. But they just don't, like we said.
And it's that last minute and a half. Can you finish?
It's that last minute and a half. It's crucial. If you guys can't close it out, what can you do?
Yeah, you really can. What can you do? To be quite honest, the rest of the season series, I can see. Dallas. I can see a split with them. We're gonna win 2, and we're gonna split that 4-game season series against the Wings. Because I think, you got Maddie Seagrass, who is really a nice piece, with Tiara McCowan, Arika Ogubawale, who's, let's be honest, just nasty. You still got, I'm drawing a blank on another person I can't think of at the top of my head at the moment. Then, screw it. Let's go to a couple games of the month of August. We got the Dream on Tuesday, August 1st, August 6th. We're going to Brooklyn, as the Liberty will host us on their home floor. So let's just hope that becomes competitive, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a competitive one. I do think we might eke that one out. We'll eke that one out.
But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see going forward.
We just gotta get a big on Brianna Stewart, because she cannot, defend that well.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
She's always getting dropped. Getting bodied in the paint. That's her weakness.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You see it constantly. That's her biggest weakness, is that she always falls in the paint. She's getting bodied every single time in the paint. She can defend when she's got a little bit of space, but when that center is backing her up and she gets bodied, nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, you really can't. So with the WNBA All-Star coming up this Saturday. So obviously both Stewie and Wilson are the actual captains, and they did their own draft to pick their selections. Obviously, you got the first round for the starters, second for the reserves. Now for Asia Wilson, well, let's just say the first picks 1 and 3 was kind of obvious. She picked her teammates Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, but picks 5 and 7. I actually really like this from Asia Wilson. Aaliyah Boston and Arika Ogubawale. Oh, good fucking Lord.
Oh, dear God. She's trying to kill the East. Oh, hell. She's like, I'm gonna get after you, Brianna Stewart. I'll get after you.
But yeah, that's the first 4 picks in the first round for Team Asia Wilson. Now for Stewie, she chose Brittany Griner, Jewel Lloyd, Satu Sabali, which honestly that's well deserved because I mean she's having a nice season, and Neka Ogumake, who's another one that's been in the Ogumake sisters has been.
That's a solid lineup for starters.
But in the reserves, so we're gonna stick with Stewie. She took Courtney Vandersloot. She took her 2 of her teammates actually, Courtney Vandersloot and Sabrina Anescu. Anescu, let's be real. Once you get her going along with Stewie, yeah, good luck with that.
No, even when Stewie gets going, when she starts scoring and crossing people up and you can't stop her.
Well, she doesn't want to freaking drop 25 to almost like 50 points on top of your head at the same time.
Dude, yeah, I've seen this woman drop 50 with ease. Ease, no issue. She's just crossing people up, shooting threes, getting to the paint. She was doing it all. It was a sight to see.
Oh, it really was. But the rest of her reserves, outside of her teammates, you got Ezzy McBaker, even though I always said Mac before, from Seattle, which she's actually a nice, solid player. Not really, she's a solid bench piece, I guess you could say. Nafisa Collier. That's a little nice pickup. Nafisa Collier, Kelsey Mitchell, that's an okay one. And Kalia Copper, shout out to North Philly for Kalia Copper.
Kalia Copper. Honestly, I think Kalia Copper should have been a starter in the All-Star.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But
I liked what Kalia Copper has done all season this year.
Especially for a team like the team with the Sky, you lost Candace Parker, so thank you, Chicago.
Chicago.
But you lost actually, but you lost, Courtney Vandersloot, so you really lost 2 key pieces from that championship team. But yet, regardless, they're still competitive in games, even without those 2, which is impressive to see. Yes, if you look at the record, it may not look good, but if you looked at some of the games that they played, they've been very competitive games. We'll have to admit that.
We just pointed out, they gave us Candace Parker. That was their start. That's an issue.
And not just Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, who was also another crucial.
Courtney Vandersloot, another star in this game.
And she's been fucking killing it since going to the New York Liberty. Because,
same thing with CP3 with the Aces.
Even though
he's killing it too.
Oh, absolutely. Even though the fact that she took out I guess she kind of not she took a step back, but she kind of took a bit of more of a role player in the starting 5. Kind of help with the
she's played that role very, very well. I've said this all season. I think her going to the Aces made her a better passer.
Yeah, if you're thinking,
and she was already not a bad passer, but the one move that I really liked that she did, the one pass she made when she friggin' threaded the needle between 2 defenders.
Oh,
right to Tony Plum for the dunk or for the layup.
I don't. Look, if you talk about another who's no good passer, Chelsea Gray. She can also get you assists too. She can also thread the needle as well.
Yeah.
But going forward,
Damien, what are you laughing at, dude?
But for Asia Wilson, she took another. So kind of where you've seen some teammates going on both ends. You got Kelsey Plum going on as a reserve with Alicia Gray for Atlanta, who has actually been pretty nice, actually. Even though the dream, it's less to be desired in terms of what they have. Look, no disrespect to Ryan Howard, who's been, let's be on a scoring fucking tear from what I've been seeing.
Oh my God, dude.
I'm thinking it's like, how the hell?
When we played that freaking team, bro, Ryan Howard scared me.
You ain't wrong.
Dude, she was bodying us the entire time. It scared me.
It really was. Even though, let's be real, this is very early in the season where teams were just starting to get their footing together. But outside Alicia Gray, they took Connecticut's son, pick number 12, Alyssa Thomas, who, let's be real, she's a triple-double goddamn machine. I will have to admit. What up, Dante? Shit.
What up, Dante? How you doing?
Shout out to a fellow Dallas Wings fans in the chat. So, and then again, I do like his optimism, but I said not worried. But yeah, Alyssa Thomas,
they're only in that little slide. So any optimism that you have for Dallas, that should not go away.
Oh, you're right. No,
they
absolutely.
They're what, 9-9?
They're 9-9 in the first through 18 games.
They're 500. They're not even terrible.
Honestly,
because if you think they can turn this ship around.
Oh yeah, I mean, once you get it off the All-Star break. Speaking of which, we'll go over the Dallas Wings schedule in just in a moment after we get through this reserves. Cheyenne Parker is the next one for Wilson. Not bad, but there are times she's been non-existent at times.
Yeah, so, I don't get that pick. I really don't.
But then again, though, I think Cheyenne Parker is more defense, so more defense oriented. So I'm okay with that.
That could work. Yeah.
It's pick 16, another Connecticut son, Tawana Bonner, she's another one that she could drop. If she had a career game, she dropped 45 on somebody. Like, and this is the thing to what I like about the Connecticut Sun. It's like, yeah, you lost John Quell Jones to the offseason. Now you lost Brianna Jones, unfortunately, to an Achilles injury, which is very unfortunate to hear. I still think I can still consider that team as a NBA championship contender. Yeah, you may have lost two players, but you're still playing some nice, solid basketball all around. Like, that's the way I look at it. And obviously, Asia Wilson got Elena other reserve. Elena Deladon is now a reserve for Team Asia Wilson in the All-Star game. Oh, boy.
You put a starter. You put a person that should be a starter,
but
in the reserves.
Well, if you think about it, if you took it, because this is basically what the starting five is going to be looking like. It's going to be Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, Aaliyah Boston, and Erika Ogumbawale. That's your starting five for Team Asia Wilson. Team Brianna Stewart, obviously Stewie, Brittany Griner, Jewel Lloyd, Satu Sabali, who's been has a really nice season, and Neko Gumake, which looks like you're starting five of the All-Star game. But I would actually do not mind these selections whatsoever. Even though Cheyenne Parker, yes, it's a bit, I do want to call that into question, but, if you just need it for defensive purposes, sure. I have no issues with that. But since what was the team we talked about? Oh, the Dallas Wings. That's what we're talking about. So in their next stretch of games, let me scroll down. No, we're out now to June. So right now, currently, they're holding a 3-point lead over the Fever with 1:11 to go tonight. So Wednesday,
that might go down as a win. It might go down. That might.
Now, Dante, I agree with you. Ryan Howard should have been an All-Star the way how she's been playing this past stretch of games.
Yeah, he should have been an All-Star.
That's total utter disrespect out of her not getting an All-Star selection.
Yeah. I was about to ask that. Where the hell was Ryan Howard all through this? Where the hell
was we seen in the? I'd say I don't know, man.
She should have been picked. She should have been picked, man.
That's wrong.
That's a crime in itself, man.
That is. I mean, for that, let's be real, a rookie of the year, #1 overall pick. Let's be real. Once you get her going, oh boy, yeah, good luck with that. Especially if you can't close around the perimeter. That's kind of where her game pretty much is. Besides the point, Dallas, when they come out of this game, they're going to be on the road again. This time traveling up to the mid. I guess you say the Midwest. Up to Minnesota at the Target Center. I think that's going to be a good game for sure. I'm going to really like that at 1:00 Eastern time. That's going to be on their. Apparently, they have it on Twitter. Apparently, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, games on Twitter.
Yep.
Odd place to put it.
Nah, well. So Wednesday the 19th.
I know everybody is on their phones. They're all on Twitter. So then again, it does make a little bit of sense. But then again, you should have done what the MLB did and just put games on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have been.
Or just have it on League Pass.
Or have it on League Pass, but also have it on YouTube. Because a lot of games could get locked out because of you're in that area.
That is true.
I literally cannot watch any Connecticut Sun games.
Yeah, that's kind of great.
I'm around that area where you can watch those games, and that's the only WNBA team in the New England market is that team.
Absolutely.
So I literally cannot watch. I can't watch those games.
But
I can certainly check the scores and stuff, but I can't. So league, yeah, you can have it on League Pass, but I would rather have like a game on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. But Wednesday, July 19th, they're traveling up to New York, to Brooklyn to take on the Liberty, which I think that's going to be another nice game, another good game as well. So they got two good back-to-back games.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I feel like the Liberty will just be a little bit too much though,
but
for the Wings. But I do see competitive.
Well, you also got to think this too, because you have a couple of big body women and Tierra McCowan, who I think it was she's like 6'7", 6'9", somewhere around that. I think kind of the way they're running that. So if you try to get Stewie in the post, like you said, that's where you can expose that weakness.
That could be what makes or breaks the Wings in that game. Is if you can get Stewie in the post, because Stewie cannot defend in the post that well.
Absolutely, I agree. 100%.
He can't do it. She did it all year. No knock to her defense because she is a good perimeter defender.
It's just the interior defense is weak.
Interior defense, that's what breaks her.
Going forward, you got July 22nd. You got the Sparks and the Wings. I expect the Wings with a win over that. But like we said, but then again, I won't be surprised if everything goes well for the Sparks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an upset. So that remains to be seen. Come July 22nd, July 25th. This is good. I can see this could be another good game on ESPN. The Connecticut Sun and the Dallas Wings going at it on 13.
Oh boy!
That's going to be a good one.
I don't know about that with the Wings, man. It's going to be a good one. I don't know. Connecticut Sun are ridiculous this year.
Friday, July 28th. The Wings are hosting the Washington Mystics.
That one, that could go either way for me. Then again, the Washington Mystics are a complete team. So, but the Wings again, they're kind of finding their groove. So I don't know about that. That's a toss.
Yeah, so that's gonna be to be determined at the moment. So after the Washington Mystics, obviously we're going into Game 3 of the season series between the Wings and the Aces, but this time they're going to be at the Michelob Ultra Arena at Las Vegas, Nevada. So you got the 9-9 Wings. Now I'm kind of getting hungry for wings, so sorry about that.
All right. The next time you say wings, you're going to be salivating. So stop saying wings.
All right. Well, you got Dallas and Vegas going at it for Game 3 of the season series. So I can see this being a toss-up as well. I could see, Aces pulling this one by a close one, or we could see the Dallas somehow sneak a win out of Las Vegas. So that's another one I will still think that's up in the air.
That could happen.
But
I hope it doesn't. As an Aces fan, I hope it doesn't.
But yeah, that's pretty much their stretching games so far for the month of July as it stands.
Yeah, I could see them. I could see them having a decent.
Well, speaking of which, we have a bit of more scoring update. It is a 1-point game in Indiana between Dallas and Indy.
I don't know anymore. It was a good 5 points. Now it's 1.
And see, and that's the thing too. Yeah, on paper, like the record wise for the Fever, yes, it's not great, but
they have something. You see it. You see it in their games. They have something there. They've competed with the best. Look, hell, Indiana Fever. I think that was the heart attack game against us.
Yeah, I think that might have been the heart attack game.
That might have been the heart attack game.
Because
like after that, I swear I probably needed a freaking Bayer pill or some shit.
So actually, funny enough, I actually pulled the game up. It is 77-76 with 16.4 left in the fourth.
All right,
it's going to come.
Who's got the 76? Who's got the 71?
Dallas with 77, Fever with the 76, with I think Tierra McCowan on the free throw line, and she misses both free throws.
Oh no!
Fever with 9 seconds.
Did I turn this on, or is it just like over?
And 3. Oh, and Dallas just barely walks out of Indy with a win. Oh man.
Dude, they even got their heart attack game. Yo, Dante, I think you need a Bayer after that one. God damn.
So in terms of Dallas, yes, Natasha Howard, that's another one. She's kind of become a thorn in the side of most. But not too bad though. Her nice stat line of 16 points, 8 boards, 1 assist, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Good fucking Lord. Woohoo! Yeah, I can see why a lot of most Aces fans I respect her game, but she's kind of a pain in the ass, for lack of a better term. Sabatu Sali, not too bad. I wish I could see more out of her. 7 points, 4 boards, 1 assist in over 22 minutes. Tierra McCowan, obviously, kind of not much of a score from what I remember. 9.7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Rico Gubawale. I can see why.
Oh, yeah. Her? Oh, boy.
Oh, this is her stat line. In almost 40 minutes, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. That's a Rico for you. Like,
that should not be shocking anymore to me.
It really isn't.
Holy point. Yo. I'm legit scared for the players who have to go against her. Good God. 28 points.
And it's going to be interesting, too. Now the fact that you don't still have, obviously, Diamond DeShields out with I think of a season-ending injury, which is kind of unfortunate. I was actually kind of intrigued to see what this team's going to look like, both with Diamond DeShields, but, kind of rather wait until next year, apparently. You got Crystal Dangerfield, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and that's pretty much about it in terms of the starting 5. Now, for the Fever, 3 out of the starting 5 actually has pretty good games. Melissa Smith, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, in over 25 minutes. Aaliyah Boston, just 2 rebounds shy of a double-double, which she's another one. She's like South Carolina always pumps out double-double type of players.
Guess why? Guess why? Dawn MF Staley. Dawn Staley. That's why.
Aaliyah Boston, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block for the Indiana Fever. So the Fever comeback just fell short. And if you're a Wings fan,
like I said, man, Indiana, they have something.
So in terms of the final scores around the league, oh boy, Sparks fans, what the hell happened?
Did they not close out another one?
Well, the final score 112-84.
Oh, they didn't have a chance to close it out.
Yeah. Why?
Did they even show up to the game? The hell?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what the hell? So, what's today? Today's the 9th. Let me see. Oh, so that was on the 2nd. So, in terms of the 9th, my apology. Actually, well, let's go over some of the scores from last week on Sunday. Where the holy shit! There's a lot of game. So July 2nd, Sunday, you had the Sparks, who let's be real, got their ass whooped, 112 to 84. The Washington Mystics, honestly, surprisingly lost by double digits to the Dallas Wings, 89 to 72. Chicago somehow pulled out a 2-point victory over the Indiana Fever, and it's kind of no surprise that the New York Liberty kicked the crap out of the Seattle Storm.
Yeah.
So all around,
but again, man, another close loss for the Indiana Fever.
Oh, which speaking of which, we have another game going on, and the Mercury are already up 6 points early over the LA Sparks.
Key, are you okay?
What do we just talked about? Like,
Key,
if you
are you okay?
Hey, I don't know anymore.
Here's what I would do, Key. I would go into the alcohol cabinet, get you some alcohol.
Well, trust me,
you're gonna need that.
I mean, overall,
to the damn Mercury.
Well, actually, it's down 8-4. But look at the early box score. Well, Mercury committed their first team turnover, but yet still. But obviously, the Sparks right now have 2 turnovers as a team. Currently, it's a 8-4 game. So we'll see how that really turns out. So right now, your leading. Man, Brittany Griner already at their leading score with 6 points already, with 6 points, 1 rebound, and obviously one personal foul.
So basically, right now it's just Brittany Griner trying to do it herself.
So Griner has 6 out of the 8 points for the Mercury, combined with Brianna Turner's 2.
So it's basically just Brittany Griner trying to
pretty much
carry the team.
That's much
an issue. That is an issue.
Like Deanna Taurasi, well, she's nowhere to be seen. But yet she only recorded 2 assists and just barely over 3.5 minutes into. Well, actually, now it's a 2-point game. My apologies. But looking forward, so the final thing I want to kind of talk about is obviously the Week 6 power rankings. Obviously, there was a lot of teams that, was interesting. So overall, obviously, number 1 still belongs to the Las Vegas Aces. This is still at the time when they were still 15-1. Last week they were 3-0. Yeah, that's right. That was that's right. That was the heart attack game where the Aces somehow pulled out an 8-point victory.
Yeah, that was the game where I was panicking. I was panicking by the 4th. I'm like, they better not blow this. They better not blow this.
Aces at number 1. Obviously, number 2, the New York Liberty. The previous ranking was at 2. Their last week, they were 2-1. Obviously, took a win against the Sun, 89-81, and obviously got blown out 98-81 against the Las Vegas Aces, and then beat the Storm.
Damn.
Yeah, trust me. And I had Coach Ed on stream, and I was like, I was happy we won, but I'll say I expected more for a team like the Liberty. You got Stewart. You got
there, yeah, I saw that stream. You were like, you looked bummed out. You're like, bro, really?
I tweeted it out. It's like I put that on Twitter the following day. It's like I was very disappointed. Like,
bro, really? This is our competition. This is our
thrown out the window. It's like, what the fuck?
Like this is the supposed second team behind us,
and yet everyone's put up 100 points on them. It's like, I don't know. But number 3, the Connecticut Sun. So right now, your top 3 is the Aces, the Liberty, and the Sun. Currently, obviously, the last week they weren't great. Last week they were 0-2 in their 2 games. Lost to the Liberty 89-81, like I said, and obviously took an L against us 102-84.
Right.
Number 4,
They took
you got the Washington Mystics. So this is at the time before they notched their 10th win of the season.
Right.
So they were 9-7 at the time. Their previous ranking at number 4, they were 1-2 in their last 3 games. The last week, at that time, that last week, took a win over the Dream, 109-86. They actually took a loss against the Dream the second meeting, 94-89, and then took a loss to the Wings, 89-72.
Right.
Number 5, the Dallas Wings. At the time, they were 8-8. The last previous ranking, they were 8 in the power rankings, last week's power rankings. Overall, went 2-0. Obviously, won comfortably against the Mercury, 77-62, and against the Mystics, 89-72. Number 6, I don't know about this one. The Atlanta Dream.
The Atlanta Dream. They've actually been doing very, very well the last 10 games. Very well. So I kind of see why they would be at 6. I see why.
So the previous ranking was at 7 at the time. Overall, not a bad week.
Let me read you what they were the last 10. I should have put up my notes, but I didn't. Silly me.
Oh yeah, I got it.
No, I got it. So they are 7-3 in their last 10, and they're only 4 games out of first. They sit 9-8.
Oh yeah, which is good for the 5th seed if the playoffs started. If they were to make the playoffs.
Playoffs start today. They're in the playoffs.
Absolutely, that's the number 5th seed.
But I could see why they jumped up to 6. I could see why.
Right now, in terms of the last 10 games, who have the better record? Obviously, Aces are, the last 10 games, 9-1. But you have the Liberty and the Lynx already tied for the best right now in the last 10 games, turned the best record in the last 10 games at both 8-2 in the last 10 games. Then you had
both teams have been red high.
You got Connecticut at 7-3, the Dream at 7-3. Washington's 5-5 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they've been kind of inconsistent lately. They won a game, they lost a game. They won a game, they lose.
It's like there's no kid. Like
there's no consistency there in the last 10.
Oh, absolutely.
They're still good enough to be in the playoffs. In terms of the regular record, but 5-5 in the last 10, they've got to be more consistent. They've got
absolutely. To. Well,
if they want to win series against teams like let's say
the Dallas Wings, or
Dallas
at least
Wings, if they want to win series against the Dallas Wings, or the New York Liberty, if they want to win against these teams, they got to be more consistent.
Absolutely. In terms of the scoring update, it is a tie game at 10 between the Mercury and the Sparks.
Oh, the Sparks are eating up.
Well, speaking of which, now both teams are combined for 4 total turnovers, but the Sparks, even with it costing 2 turnovers, they got 4 points off of those 2 turnovers.
Yeah, overall, I feel like this is gonna be a sloppy game. I'm gonna turn it on right now. But I'm gonna turn my I'm gonna turn it this way. So I'm gonna turn this on and see this game right now.
But yeah, so
I had to turn my tablet around a little bit so we don't get copyrighted with footage.
Yeah. So overall, any final thoughts before we get up out of here, Tyler?
Honestly, the Aces are the best team ever. So go Aces. And also, the Aces are on right now. By the way, they're on right now. They're playing the game's coming on, but it hasn't started yet.
Yeah, it doesn't start till 7.
All right. But honestly, I want to see more from the teams that are kind of all right, like the Dallas Wings. I want to see more consistency from the Mystics because they have been really, really inconsistent lately. I want to see a lot more out of the teams that are kind of in the middle of the road.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%.
You got to step. Right now you're driving at 10 miles an hour. You got to put that foot in the gas.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's all I got. That's my final thought.
So that being said, this is going to wrap it up. Episode 3 of Ballin with the Ladies. Like I said, we're going to be back in again next week for episode 4, and obviously it's going to be the same. We're going to start, kind of news, rumors, a little bit of, overlooking some games, and kind of give our thoughts on it. Not like go in like full in detail like a post game, but just kind of like break it down into like basically like Spark Notes, basically, kind of give our own gist of things. So that being said, come check. Appreciate anyone who's kind of stuck around to the chat. So shout out to Coach Dante, shout out definitely Coach Ed as well.
Read these comments for a minute.
We got the MLB trip.
Yeah, we got that coming up soon, man. Got that coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that.
I'll be live for round 1.
I won't be on there because I'm not like well versed in the drafting and all that shit. And also, I don't have the MLB network, so I can't.
I already got you. I got that recovered on terms.
So it'll only be Rob. It'll only be Rob.
Yeah. So that being said, episode 3 of Ballin with the Ladies. I appreciate everyone who comes in to hear for some WNBA news, rumors, quick post game, thoughts and all this good stuff. We're going to
update the Phoenix Mercury have a 1-point lead.
Oh boy!
Never. Actually, it's a 3-point lead, 13-10 against the Sparks.
Yep. But that being said, me and Tyler.
Oh, it's 13-12, just like that.
But that being said, me and Tyler, we are out of the building.
Peace.